Principle 4. Specialized knowledge. During the First World War, a Chicago newspaper labeled Henry Ford as an ignorant pacifist due to his anti-war stance. In response, Ford filed a lawsuit against the newspaper. When the case was being tried in court, the attorneys asked Ford a variety of general knowledge questions to prove their point that Ford was not an educated man. The great industrialist was piled with questions like who was Benedict Arnold and how many soldiers did the British send over to America to put down the rebellion of 1776? In answer to that last question, Mr. Ford replied, "I do not know the exact number of soldiers the British sent over, but I have heard that it was a considerably larger number than ever went back." Finally, when Ford was tired of this line of offensive questioning, he leaned over and pointed his finger at the attorney and replied, "Let me remind you that I have a row of electric buttons on my desk, and by pushing the right button, I can summon men who can answer any question I desire to ask concerning the business to which I am devoting most of my efforts. Now, will you kindly tell me, why should I clutter up my mind with general knowledge for the purpose of being able to answer questions when I have men around me who can supply any knowledge I require?" Ford loathed generic knowledge. He had a hunger for specialized knowledge relevant to his work and life. A lot of people keep acquiring generic knowledge thinking that knowledge is power. The traditional schooling system reiterates the same idea that generic knowledge is power. The problem is that knowledge is not power on its own. It is a potential power. The real power comes from acquiring specific knowledge of the problem one is trying to solve and apply it to that knowledge to solve it. For instance, knowing the history of the world may not help an entrepreneur trying to build an electric vehicle or trading in the stock market. To succeed these endeavors, one needs specialized knowledge of how these activities work. General knowledge, no matter what variety or quantity, hardly helps one acquire a great amount of wealth. The traditional schooling system is based on hoarding more and more generic knowledge. This explains why millions struggle to achieve financial freedom. Specific knowledge, coupled with imagination, helps one achieve the strongest desire, while specific knowledge helps in solving real-world problems. Imagination is the source of creativity.